and recording we are. Hi everyone, welcome to our X39 review. We have a special interview tonight with Monica Zappa. We are so excited. I have had the pleasure of talking to Monica, and she is just a beautiful soul and an amazing dog lover. She lives in Alaska. You can see the beautiful big sky behind her. And she has been a 6-time Iditarod Alaska sled dog racer. And just so you know, she is a musher. And the Iditarod in Alaska is over 1,000 miles long. Just think of that. She rides the sled with her dogs for under 2 weeks, over 1,000 miles in the harshest winter elements in the Alaska. It's in March. She starts with 14 dogs. And it's really a big deal when you have such good care of your dogs that the less dogs that go to the checkpoints, and usually with a minor injury like a shoulder sprain or something, means good dog care. And in 2020, in the Iditarod, she just finished. She started with 14 dogs and she finished the race with 12. As a comparison, most racers finish the race with 9 dogs. So she loves her dogs. Also, in the 2020 Iditarod, it was a really rough trail that year. It was a huge snow and rainstorm, and it washed out the entire trail. I mean, just picture that. You're with your sled going down the trail, and it's washed out. 2 teams got in the storm, and they had to be rescued, and 20 of the teams passed it, and of course Monica was behind, and they had to reroute all the dogs. And she said it was less like a race and more like an expedition this year, and they all had to help each other get through. I can't even imagine what that must be like. So what I'm going to do real quick is we're going to take 6 minutes, and we're going to ride with Monica in her 2016 Iditarod. So let's go do it. Here we go.
Monica, thanks so much for taking some time to talk to us. I know with less than 24 hours to the start of the race, you got to be really excited. What's going through your mind right now?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm very ready to be on the trail. What's going through my mind is just, what are the trail conditions like? Are my dogs ready? Because I don't actually know what it's going to be like, but likely we won't have a lot of snow. It'll probably be a very hard trail. I just don't know what we're going to expect. Hopefully it'll get cold and things will freeze up and we'll get snow, and then it'll be a really nice trail. The lead dog is the most important position in the team. They're the ones who set the pace, and if they don't want to move down the trail, nobody else is going to move down the trail. So. see people every day. There's some races that are a bit more desolate, but there's 85 mushers going on the trail this year. So yeah, you usually end up running with kind of a pack after a few days. You'll kind of establish maybe 4 to 6 other mushers that you end up kind of maybe not always seeing on the trail, but in the checkpoints and whatnot, you'll see a lot. Mental than physical, and it is pretty physical. Yeah, when you're out there for anything over 5 days, you haven't had more than 2 or 3 hours of sleep at a time. It really takes a mental toll on you. Doing so good. Good boy. Good lead dog. That's it, buddy. Keep it up. Moving right along. Miles from the finish line. Good dogs, almost there. That's it, almost to the finish line, guys. Here's Nome. We're in Nome. All right. I think a lot of mushers would agree with me that that is the main reason that we do this kind of thing, run 1,000 miles, is for the experience that we get to have, sharing that with our best friends, which are our dogs. It's an incredible bond, and it's just tightened that much further by running across Alaska. You have to have so much trust in each other, especially between yourself, the musher, and your lead dog. You love them unconditionally, and they love you unconditionally, and it's an incredibly emotional and beautiful thing. They get lots of treats when they get there. Blue Steel particularly loves belly rubs.
Wow. Was that an adventure? Do we all want to go to Alaska next winter? I do. So Mariah, I believe Monica's here now, and why don't you go ahead and share with us some of Monica's thoughts.
Okay. It's a beautiful day here in Alaska, and Monica is down by the beach in Kasilof, and I'm here in the Nilchik. And I'm going to ask you, Monica, tell us how you became an Iditarod race musher and what motivated you to race dogs.
And you need to it's all right, no problem. We'll unmute you. Let's see if we can get you unmuted.
I have 2 devices going, so I'm not sure which one I'm talking to, but I wanted to make sure you keep me here because I'm low on battery on my iPad, just trying to get all the technological kinks worked out. But yeah, I thank you all for, joining in and enjoying the video and getting excited about dog.
Hold on just a minute.
Monica,
Try
you
that.
might want to shut the audio off of one of
I'm
your.
trying.
Okay.
You're echoing.
Yep.
So you're gonna have to shut one off. You're gonna have to shut one off. It's okay. Shut the one you're comfortable off. Shut the one that we see you on your iPhone. Why don't you shut your iPad off if it has less batteries? Okay.
Okay.
It's okay. We got you on your phone. We got you. We got your back. You're doing great.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thanks,
You're
you guys.
perfect.
Thanks for joining in. And yeah, it is a somewhat beautiful day here in Alaska, although it did just start raining. But yeah, we're already in summertime. We're on like 14 hours of daylight. So yeah, the Zoom thing is a little bit new for me. So I'm trying to get all the kinks worked out. I'm realizing that it does take a lot of batteries. So I'm hoping for the best on all this.
You're gonna do great.
How I got into mushing. Well, that is actually pretty simple because I grew up in Wisconsin in a small town called Cumberland, Wisconsin, and both of my parents were dog mushers, so sled dog racers, and they also just did it for fun, just to get out and enjoy, the outdoors and be outside in the winter and have something to do. And so I spent a lot of my childhood in the back of a sled, just riding and watching the dogs. And never in a million years did I ever think that I would run the Iditarod or really have anything to do with mushing. When I grew up, I wanted to be a TV weather girl. That was my mission, and I went to college for and all of that. And I was actually in grad school at the University of Oklahoma, and this was in 2010, and just decided I wanted a different lifestyle. I wanted to be doing something totally different. I wanted to be outside every day and have just a reason to be active, and the desk setting wasn't working out for me anymore. So I kind of just got a wild idea of going to Alaska and finding a musher to work with. And long story short, I ended up with Tim Osmar, and he's my partner now. And we, it's been a great journey. It's, again, a long story of how I got here, but that was in 2010, and ended up wanting to stay for a year, and that was 10 years ago. So the lifestyle absolutely captivated me, and the dogs, absolutely. I fell in love instantly and couldn't even imagine not having all those dogs in my life. So that's how it started. Yeah.
So what's it like to train an Iditarod team? What do you have to do to train a team to go 1,000 miles?
Well, it definitely takes a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, and just the conditioning, getting that dog team in shape to be able to run 5 to 8 hours at a time without stopping. This year was particularly difficult because we had a lot of snow. It snowed 2 feet the day of the race, and we had 10 feet before that. So it was just nonstop snow. So we trained as hard as we could for it, but we usually trained for about 5 hours. Well, most of my runs on the race were 8 hours. So it was really intense this year. It took a lot of mental strength this year to really, push through those really long days and those really cold nights. And just as much as the physical strength, it was mental strength. And I did try to train for that. It's just an attitude of staying positive. I try to stay positive and make a plan. And so that kind of sort of gets me through so far, whatever I have needed to get through. So,
that's wonderful.
yeah.
I know that you were running dogs day and night. People don't realize that, you're running the dogs, and when you're training, you're also training at night. Tell us some of your adventures on the trail this year in 2020. What were some of the most exciting and unexpected things that happened?
Well, yeah, the weather. It's always the weather. That's the factor that you really can't plan for. So this year, that was not to say unexpected, but I would say more difficult than anybody did expect, because we had some cold. We had a couple days of real cold, like 40 below, and then it got warm. And so that transition, not only for people, but for dogs, is even more difficult when it gets warm. So we all had to just readjust, and keeping the dogs happy and healthy. That's always the main thing, to do down the trail to get you to the finish line. So just kind of readjusting for that. And then the storm. So on the coast, we had a massive storm. It was one of the biggest storms of the year, for sure. I don't know, maybe the biggest in a few years, actually. And it snowed in higher elevations, 4 to 5 feet of snow on the trail, and then more towards the ocean where the trail actually was, the water came in. So there was 2.5 feet of water on the trail. So we had to totally reroute. We had to go up into the mountains where there was the 5 feet. And basically that's where it became an expedition, and everybody had to help each other. And that was kind of unprecedented for the race in modern times. It was more like when it was maybe 20 or 30 years ago, when there wasn't as much of a trail. So that was really cool. It was a memorable experience, and everybody kind of working together. And it was fun for the dogs too, because for the dogs, it's like a party. There's a whole bunch of other dog teams on the trail, and it worked out. And then of course we had COVID too. So we didn't know if we were going to make it to Nome this year. So it was really extra special when that last 11 teams made it into Nome.
So let me ask you this: how did you learn about the X39 patch? And people are asking a lot of questions about the dogs too, wondering, have you, patched the dogs, during your training or anything like that? And just tell me, like, how you learned about the X39 patch and what motivated you to try it.
Well, Mariah got me into the patch, and we both, the mushing community is small, so we knew each other from a while back, and we ran into each other like December or something at a little store in town, and Mariah started telling me about the patch and gave us a sample, and me and my partner tried it, and we decided we wanted to keep trying it. This is intriguing. We feel great. And he had a broken ankle in the past, and just the wear and tear of life. This lifestyle is definitely hard on the body. So anyway, we got excited about that. And then, as we discussed more of the possibilities of the patch, we definitely wanted to give it a try on some of the dogs. And so, I did try it on some of the dogs. I have an older dog who is 12, I believe, and he hasn't been running for a couple of years. He has some heart issues, and just kind of lethargic. And so I've put the patch on him, and he has, I can tell when he gets a patch, he gets really happy. He gets all bouncy like a puppy. He starts licking his lips, like you can notice the signs when you get to know your dogs, of course, like everybody who has dogs does. And so it's been helpful for him. I also have used the patch in training. If a couple of my dogs, not many, but I had a couple injuries, just 2 this year. And one was a wrist and one was a shoulder. And the dog that had the shoulder injury, I put the patch on. It was just probably a strained muscle. And I put the patch on, and he healed, I would say, in half the time of a regular injury like that. Of course, he was a younger dog, but at the same time, it was noticeable. And so I'm really happy to be able to incorporate the X39 patches into my arsenal of my, vet kit for the dogs when there's issues like that. The other thing that was kind of interesting, you met Blue Steel, who's my main lead dog. He has had 7 trips to Nome, and he's just an amazing dog. He is in amazing shape. All the vets always make comments about how athletic he is, and his heart is in such good shape. But I wanted to make sure that, he was in good shape for the race. So he had a bit of, I wouldn't even say sore, but when he runs a lot, sometimes his hips, they're the area that, as a dog is 9 years old, might have a little bit of aches and pains. So I put I put a patch on his hip area. I did about a week of on and off patching with Blue Steel. and this was in training before the race. And what ended up happening was his, what would you say, libido went through the roof. he just got super horny, and it was really an interesting thing to watch. So I actually stopped patching him, because when your lead dog is too horny, that that doesn't work out that great. But I'm not sure if it was because of the patching before, or just because he was in such great physical condition. He had his best race he has ever had. He ran single lead. He ran lead the entire way. Almost all of it was in single lead, which is a really difficult position for a sled dog, is to be all by themselves, basically dragging the team down the trail. And he had no illness at all, like no issues with any injuries, was literally in the best shape compared to the 2-year-old dogs that I had on the trail. So that was pretty cool, but just an interesting observation about that.
What about you? What have you noticed wearing the patch? What
So
happened
this is what it's right for me. This is what it's all about. Like, this was the main thing was, so this was my 6th Iditarod. So I have, a few years of experience on what it feels like. Yes, I'm in my 30s, but at the same time, you're out on the trail. It is the most physical, demanding thing that I can even explain to you. And not because of what you're doing, but because of the time. You're 24/7, and you're sleeping maybe 1 or 2 hours a day. And this is for almost 2 weeks. So this is, day after day and after day, like 5 or 6. It really hurts. It really hurts. I can't even describe to you. You're just like, your back hurts so bad. You're having to booty the dogs. You're having to feed the dogs. You have to make all your own dog food. And so I can totally know what the pain feels like. And so this year I'd been patching about 3 months before the race, and I had the best race ever, not only physically but mentally. So yes, I had a little bit of pain physically, probably 3 days in, but then once I kind of pushed through that barrier, day 4 or 5, I felt in the best shape of my life. I literally felt like invincible. I could tell, like, my muscles felt so good. I didn't have the fatigue. Yes, I didn't want to wake up for my naps, but when I did wake up, I was able to get going a lot faster. Just I didn't have that fatigue in my muscles that I had in the previous years. And mentally, I felt like it was my best race ever too. And I didn't really put this all together until we were kind of talking just a little bit ago about what the patch can do for your brain. And I totally think that that's what was going on, because it was the hardest race mentally. There was over 20 teams that scratched, and it wasn't all mental, but a lot of it was mental. It was so slow. Instead of 5-hour runs, it was 8 or 9 hour runs. And that just takes a lot of mental toll. And so looking back on it, physically and mentally, it was my best race ever. And I definitely think the patches had a lot to do with it. And the other main thing is I developed psoriatic arthritis on my hands about 2 years ago. And I know that the mushing in the cold and kind of the damp environment and the really cold, dry, it makes it a lot worse. The last expedition we did, my hands were bleeding. This was last year. They were bleeding like the whole time and just itchy and all that. And then pain in the joints too. And since I've been patching, I noticed a difference about a month in. The skin was a lot smoother and I wasn't having that joint pain. And this year on the race, my hands looked the best that they, had looked in a year. So that for me is just priceless. So yeah, just all the different aspects that you don't even realize till you kind of think back on it, like, wow, that was different or that was different. So I love the X39 patch. It's an amazing thing. So thank you so much, Mariah, for introducing me to it.
Oh, you're welcome. Have you shared it with anyone else?
Yes, I have. I've shared it with a couple of friends and mainly my mom. My mom has sciatica. What is? I get it mixed. Sciatica. I mix it up with the psoriatic. Thank you. Sciatica in her back, and she had been going to the chiropractor. She had to go weekly to the chiropractor just to be able to stay on her feet and do her job. And so I sent her, a couple weeks worth of, actually about a month worth of patches, and she didn't have to go. She was amazed. She didn't have to go to the chiropractor anymore to be able to walk around. And yeah, she's definitely really, you know, totally an example of what the patches can do for a problem that I don't know if you guys have ever had sciatica, but according to her, it's somewhat debilitating. So it's amazing that, and so she's been wearing them and had really good results.
Oh, good. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and standing in the little bit of rain. I'm outside. I can feel little drops too.
It's not too. It's
oh,
actually sunny now. I was just wanting to make sure I didn't die on you. So, but this is my office in the summertime. I think maybe you can't quite see the mountains, but yeah, it's a pretty awesome place to be. And it's also really physically demanding. And so I'm really excited about the patches this year because we commercial fish and it's all, hand work, muscle work, pulling the lines and pulling the fish in. So I'm pretty stoked this year. I think I'm going to feel better than ever.
Thank you, Monica. All right, Marcy, back to you. Thanks so much, Monica.
Wow,
Absolutely.
Monica, that, what's amazing is the testimonial for her dogs and for herself personally and her mom, it's like, and just watching what that race is really like, Monica. We are so happy that that stem cell patch has been such a benefit to you physically, to you mentally, to your dogs physically.
Right.
I guess, I don't know what you call that for your horny dog, but you know what I'm saying. Like, cool. So with that, Sean, why don't you tell everyone, we only have a few minutes, so maybe just like 2 minutes quickly about what this patch does and how to wear it. And then I'll go ahead and close.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say the background is I'm up here on the North Slope of Alaska and at work, actually. So this was a morning sunrise. I don't know if you can see it.
Wow, it's gorgeous.
Just to share the Alaska girl vibe. So I started the patch maybe like 7-8 months ago. I remember being at Mariah's house when Monica came by to get her first patches. That was pretty cool.
Awesome.
And, anyway, to hear your story now is just so beautiful. 7 months now, I don't know, November 11th, I started taking these patches. The first one I did was up here. I placed it on my C7 as directed, and I felt a burst of light like throughout my body. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So I started, I just like, I want to do this. I want to check it out. And so how it works is once you put it on your skin, the infrared of the heat of your body activates its light frequency. It's photobiomodulation. That's how it works. Just like the sunlight activates vitamin D in our body, this activates GHK copper peptides. This light streams and the energy goes to your brain. The brain turns on, and these GHK copper peptides go and they activate our stem cells, our own stem cells in our body. And they're pluripotent, which means they go directly to where your dis-ease is in the weakest point, the weakest link. So for me, it was hormone balance and brain fog and all that. And I just like Monica said, I started feeling something was shifting. I was feeling giddy and ecstatic and happy after about a couple weeks. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? So I just started delving into it more. But come to find out, I'm 54 years old. And at 35, we lose half of our stem cell activity. By the time we're 65, it's almost zero. So I'm like kind of in between there. And so I started feeling energetic, going to the gym, just, getting more active, sleeping better. And then as I'm, hit the 3-month mark, there was another burst of like shift of just this inner deep knowing of how it was healing my body. I got my hair. I mean, I'm a little bit embarrassed right now because my bangs are down to my nose. I've been working for 3 weeks, so I can't get it cut. But my hair is super thick. My migraines, I was getting like 3 headaches a week. I mean, seriously, I'm not joking. It was definitely debilitating. And I've gotten my migraines down to like every other week, every 3 weeks. And so I know that has to do with inflammation reduction, wound healing, my scars. I had a uterinectomy and the scars are almost gone. my wrinkles are going away, which is super exciting. I feel like it actually activates collagen in your body, so it's age reversal, which, you know, and I mean that's the big, you know, but reversing aging is like everybody wants that. So I highly recommend it. I just want to say one more thing about Monica's video. You had me in tears. Just the beautiful love between you and your dogs. And I'm a dog mama, and it's so, I don't know, just being from Alaska and being able to be in that wilderness and to be so free. It just I can't even imagine what it's like. So thank you so much for doing this tonight. It's very, I don't know, it's just, I'm really feeling it. So thank you.
Thank you, Sean. So, you know, as Sean was saying, this is organic crystal, and when it hits the heat of your skin, it elevates your own stem cells. It makes more of them, and it makes them younger, and they turn into these young pluripotent stem cells. And for Monica, what that means is it went in and it turned into whatever cell she needed for repair. And when you heard about what she needed, she had the blood, the psoriasis, the hands, and it went in to repair that. The emotional stability, what we know about the brain rebalancing study, she was seeing that on the trail with the storms that took the trail out. Can you imagine when you're supposed to be going 5 hours and you're now running the dogs for 8 hours, and how you mentally can handle that? And then I love about her dog. Her lead dog had the best race ever as she was utilizing the patches in training before the race. So those pluripotent stem cells were working all over for her and her animals. And I just am like, I'm kind of awestruck about what's really going on here. So this is how you can get it. It is called X39. That's what it is. It took our owner, creator, and inventor 39 times to get this right light wave to reflect, to actually elevate GHK copper peptides, which then activates your own DNA. It's not somebody else's, no, it is your own. And this patch has only been out for a year. And you can basically get it retail for $149, and you can go to the person who brought you to this call and say, you know what, I really want to try that. And they can get that for you. Or you can go to their site and click buy. You can also get it on auto ship at $99 and click buy. Or you can go and get a pack. I started with what was called a silver pack, which was 3 of these. It gave you 3 months supply, and it really allows you that 90 days to get it in your system. And that's $2.99. There is a 30-day money back guarantee. So on day 25, you can refund it all if you want and get a full refund. But guess what? It works so well, there's only a 1% return rate. So the owner of the company says, try it. We want this in your body. So then you could get with the person and say you want the silver pack, or go to their site and hit join. Then when we realized what we had our hands on, most of us upgraded to a diamond pack, which is 19 sleeves for $1,600, because we wanted enough to share and build a business and create financial safety. And how do we share? We're a gifting business. We just gift. That's all we do. And from gifting, we are helping so many people. We let the patch do the work. So if you would like to get a diamond pack, that's $1,600. You get 19 sleeves. It gets your sleeves down to $84 a sleeve. You get 3 months of activation for your business, and it's awesome. So you can get with the person who brought you here and say, I'm ready for that diamond pack, or go to their website and hit join. If you want more information, you can go to startx39.com. It has a 3-minute video, which I love. What I'm really liking, and you all should watch it, is the 20-minute science video from David Schmidt, CEO and inventor. I just watched it again yesterday, and I learned so much. So once again, that's on startx39.com, and it's the 20-minute science video. We also have over 80 patents and 80 research studies, and you can hit the research link, and the 3 most current studies is one on how it works for brain balancing. There's a study that shows that yes, this does actually elevate GHK copper peptide. And there's a study that says what happens when that's elevated, what it really does to your body when it increases those stem cells. So I really recommend you go to that site. Once again, that's startx39.com. I hope you all enjoyed tonight. I thank you so much. We are at the 35-minute mark. So thank you for coming. Monica Zappa, thank you for sharing your story. Oh my, and taking us on a journey on the Alaskan Trail. I mean, just exciting today. Mariah, thank you for the beautiful interview. And Sean, thank you for explaining how the patch works. Just wonderful today. And so we'll see you tomorrow night, Tuesday at 6 o'clock Pacific, where we will have Sheila Hay and Kathleen Nichols leading the call. But for tonight, thank you so much for coming. And I will have the recording up so you can share the trail with everyone you love. Thanks so much. Good night now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, Maria. Bye, Marcy. Bye, ladies. Good call.